Welcome to the new complete Sorare beginner guide, because last time I made this type of video, it has happened so many changes. But I will still go through the basics, I will go through everything regarding Sorare, so if you're brand new or if you have never heard about Sorare before, this will be the perfect video for you. I'll also go through a lot of good tips, because I've played Sorare for a long time, I've had a lot of success on the game, but I've also made some mistakes that I will go through in today's video, so you won't make the same mistakes that I did when I started playing Sorare. And yeah, first of all, I want to just answer the question, what is Sorare? Sorare is a fantasy game mixed with the collectible NFT side of things. And the major difference between this and other fantasy games is that there are such a big opportunity when it comes to winning money, winning cash prizes, and if you want, you could play at a very, very low risk. And what I mean by that is free to play. I have played free to play, and when I played free to play, I won tickets to Old Trafford, 2 tickets to Old Trafford, and also 2 different jerseys. I have now spent more and more money into the game because I genuinely believe in the platform. And you can also win once-in-a-lifetime experiences like playing five-a-side football match with Zinedine Zidane and etc. There are so many different opportunities in this game, and that is something I really, really like. And of course I will go through more in depth about what Sorare is, but this is just a quick explanation. And now let's move on to the sign-up tip, because that is a very, very important thing if you're brand new to the game. You need to sign up with an affiliate link, because after buying 5 players from the auction market or instant buy house, you will get $50 in credits, which is just incredible for me, and that is something that is very important. But if you haven't done it, it's completely fine. But now let's start off with navigating the website. And as you can see here, when you have signed up to the game, you will come up to a screen like this. And here you can see your level, you can see rivals, and you can see pro. And also to the top right, you can see how many soul coins you have. You can see how much you have in your wallet in terms of euros and also in terms of Ethereum. I normally really like to use euros because it's much easier for me to take it out, and I don't need to take the money out through Coinbase. So if you don't have a crypto wallet, you can play Sorare. That is something I really like, and that is something they changed for a little under 1 year ago, which I think is incredible and very, very nice. And if you click on your profile, you can choose between football, NBA and MLB. I am personally just focusing on football, so I have only football selected for now, and this will be a football guide. Market, for you, there is, you could go through very, very good performers here on the platform, and you could buy them from the auction market, or you could buy every single player from the auction market. This is where Sorare lists their cards, where you could, as a new Sorare manager, or if you are a Sorare manager, you could buy them from here. And what that does is that you pay Sorare directly. You don't trade with anyone else. This is, you will try to get him for the lowest price, and you compete with other Sorare managers to get the first version of, for example, Jefferson Lerma. His first mint of 397. You'll be the first guy to get this card, 397 Lerma. You are the only one, so you're the first owner of this card in specific, which will give you collection bonus, and I will talk about that more in depth later on in today's video. But that is something you will also get by buying cards from the instant buy market. And also one thing that is very, very important that we will also talk about later in today's video is this card is in-season cards, which is this season cards. That may not make too much sense now, but I will talk about that more in depth later on. And then we move on to manager sales, where there are every single card on the market probably. You could search up, for example, Berven, the Norwegian striker. Yeah, he's also on the market here. There are so many players, and Sorare is the game where they have so many minted clubs and leagues covered. It's ridiculous. And that is also what I like. And here you could trade with other Sorare managers. So manager sales is where you trade with other Sorare managers. And let's move on to my club. Why isn't it loading? Yeah, my club. Here we have an overview over your club, over your cards. If you go to see my cards, you can see every single card you have in your gallery, if you have bought any cards. You can also go to collections, and here is what I'm talking about later or earlier in today's video, where I said collection bonus. I can just go through an example really quick before I go more in depth about it later in today's video. FC Seoul, for example, this is a J or a K League team I'm in. And here we can see that you get bonus on the cards. I'll talk about that more in depth later on, but that is just an indication of how it works. You could go through everything, single collection, and go through the players you are missing in that collection in specific. Here you can see custom leagues and etc. here, rivals, pro, and some statistics on the right here. And now I want to talk about a little bit how to play free-to-play, and when I say free-to-play I mean in rivals and pro. Those are the two main sections where you could actually play the game. Let's start with Sorare Rivals. I've also made very many videos on that, and that haven't changed too much after the new update, but I will still go through it. Sorare Rivals is something different than Sorare Pro. Sorare Rivals is a new addition to the Pro section, and it's pretty simple. Let's say we go on Saturday games, and then we could go to Premier League. For example, if you're a Sheffield United fan, you could go to Sheffield United versus Burnley, and then you could set lineup, and then you could make a lineup between Sheffield United and Burnley. And this is for almost every single game. And you're probably wondering, what do I get from doing this? I can just show you first. Let's take Grubic, let's take this guy, Gustavo Hamer, let's take McBurney, and also take Vinicius Sosa. And then we captain Gustavo Hamer, and then now you could choose your strategy or tactic. Tiki-taka, won contests, shot on goal, effective clearances, and also gegenpress. I will take park the bus, because I think they will park the bus. And then you could go here on friendlies, you could go on arena and overview. If you play arena, you will have the possibilities after 3 arena wins or consecutive arena wins, you will win rivals reward boxes. And if we click on that, you will have the chance of getting a mystery jersey and cards that is worth real money. It will be a little under 10% chance of you actually winning something here that you can sell further on with. And that is something I really like. You can enter the arena, and this is also something that is very fun to do and play against your friends. Therefore there is friendlies here, so you could actually challenge your friends, get your friends to play the game and challenge them. That is something I think is very fun, and something I think is a little bit underrated with this game. And also overview, you can see your lineup here, and there are also different missions each day to watch out for, which I also think is very cool, and something I would recommend you do check out. And yeah, if we go back, we could also check the pro section. I feel like this is more the main section for you guys that are new to the game. That is very important that you get stuck straight into. Because there are some key differences between Rivals and Pro. I'm not a free-to-play user, but you will have, when you are a free-to-play user, I have actually made a video specifically about that. So if you want to watch that video, I could link it in the description. And this is how to sign up and how to play as a free-to-play manager and win big. I can also show you here very quickly. Of course, I'm not a free-to-play manager, so I can't show it on the screen out here. But when you have logged into Sorare and when you go into the Pro section, you could go in here, and then there will be an option for you to play free-to-play. It will be pretty clear, it will be a basic tutorial, and when you go into that, you will have the possibilities to win the reward boxes. And for you guys that are free-to-play, you will have the possibility to play the Premier League, Champion, Challenger, and Contender. And the cards there, I will explain the cards and everything. You will then use common cards, which you could, which is not tradable and is not worth real money. But with those cards, when you make a team, you could use those cards and make, of course, a 5-a-side team in the Premier League section, in the Champion section, which is the top 5 leagues, in the Challengers section, which is the teams under that, which is going to be the Turkish League, the Portuguese League, Eredivisie, Championship, and etc. And then we have the Contender, which is like the ones below that again. For example, the Norwegian League, the Swedish League, or the Danish League, I mean, and etc. K-League, J-League. And that is very briefly how to start playing Sorare. And I have also made a video, as I said, about it in specific, and I think it's pretty simple, and you will get struck straight into it if you sign up to Sorare and if you go into the Pro section. I think they explained very well, so I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And then now we can move on to Sorare cards. What is Sorare cards? Sorare cards are initially NFTs, and there are new cards minted each season, with the common cards being cards that aren't traceable and they aren't tradable, which means that you can't trade them with another store manager, but you can use common cards to win limited cards as a free-to-play user. That is very important, and that is probably how I would actually start playing the game if I were new to Sorare. And also, when we come to the card section, we have, of course, limited, rare, super rare, and unique. We can start with limited, and that is the lowest rank, the cheapest cards on the platform. Because there are minted 1,000 limited cards each season, with the difference, of course, new season cards or classic season cards. New season cards are, of course, the current season that is minted annually. Annually. And those are minted 1,000 times of each player, and rare is 100 times each season, and super rare is 10 times, and unique is only 1 annually. So that is very like easily explained and very simply explained, and I don't think you need to know too much more than that when you start playing Sorare. And yeah, let's move on to different regions and divisions, and that I talked about a little bit earlier in today's video. And this is, for example, we have here Premier League, which is just the Premier League. We have the Champion, which is the top 5 leagues. Then you can also use, of course, Premier League players. Challenger, as I said, which is of course not of course. I don't know why I say of course. For you guys that are new, this isn't of course. But the MLS, the Turkish League, Eredivisie, and there are many more. But this is just an overview, an example of leagues. And if, for example, you are jumping into Sorare, it's one step that is very easy. If you buy a card, you could just scroll down, and if you want to buy a card, you could just go into the card, and here you can see competition eligibility. Here you can see that my Arma Bisaka is eligible for Champion Limited in-season, Premier League in-season, because this is an in-season card, this is a new season card. And you can see Classic, I can play Champion Limited, Premier League Limited, All-Star Limited, and also Cap Limited. All-Star Limited and Cap Limited are game modes that will be soonly removed, but those are more tournaments you can play, but since you're a free-to-play manager, you won't have access to those because those are divisions that will cost money to play, if that makes sense. And you will learn more about those divisions when you have grinded your way from the basic tutorial, or if you want to buy or deposit money. This is under 23. You are only eligible to use cards that are under 23 years old. And here we have a global all-star. You could use players from the entire world in one lineup. Cap is that you have a cap on your squad, so the L15 of each of your players, which is determined about their performance in their last 15 games. For example, we can see here that Aaron Wan-Bissaka haven't been doing too great recently, so he have only 46 in L15, and that is his average last 15 games, which is very easy to take into consideration when you make your teams, because it will be very easily and good explained by Sorare when you try to make lineups in, for example, cap to 20, cap to 40, and cap to 70. And the next one will be scoring matrix, where I will talk about more in depth about the matrix of the game, and it's completely different from any other fantasy game. That is something I really love about Sorare. It's something completely different, where you get a lot of points for tackles, interceptions, duels won, passes into final third, chances created, and everything. If I were you, I would probably search up Sorare scoring matrix, or you could just watch the FootMob ratings or SofaScore ratings, because in many cases, when a player had a good game, you can see it on FootMob or SofaScore, their rating, and then you can reflect that into how good their Sorare score will probably be. Although that isn't 100% correct, but that is something I normally do. I don't go to Sorare every single time my players play. I normally just go on FootMob and get an indication of how good they're doing. But if you want, I will link it in the description, the full scoring matrix, if you want to go through it and look at what you get points from. I will also and you can also just search up Sorare scoring matrix. You will get it up very probably the first link. And then we can move on to XP and collections explained, because I talked about that also early in today's video and very briefly. And I want to use my Manchester United boys as an example, because I have extremely good experience on them, and that is also a tip that I will explaining now. Here you can see that my cards, Harry Maguire, 15% bonus. And how did he get that? And why did he get that? First of all, if you buy a new in-season card, in season, that is the current season that is ongoing, you will get a 5% bonus. And you will also get a bonus, which is how much you have used the cards with. That is a level bonus, how much you have used the cards, which will then give you experience. And the third thing is collection bonus. That is, if we go over to the collection tab, is the rating of your Manchester United collection. For example, let's say you get 35 points, you will get 1%. If you get 100 points, you will get 2%. If you get 250 points, you will get 3%. If you get 500 points, you will get 4%. And if you get 750 points, you will get 5%. And an example is, for example, Lisandro Martinez. I bought his jersey mint. The jersey mint is, of course, the number behind his back. And I bought this card that is the same. This is the 6 out of 100 card of Lisandro Martinez. And if then we scroll down, we can see here collection. It's a new card. I bought him from the auction market, so I am the first guy to actually own this player. Then I get 20 points. And I've also hold this card for 90 days without trading or selling him. Then I get 10 points. I have a card in the collection, and this is my card, so I'll get 10 points for that. And also I have his serial number, his jersey number in card. So then I will also get 30 points for that. And then if all of that adds up, I will get 70 points just for Lisandro Martinez. So he has contributed with 70 points here. And as you can see here, because we have reached the 750 point mark, every single player I have here will get a 5% collection mark or a bonus. And that is very nice because, of course, the scores goes from 0 to 100 points. And I don't know why I say of course every time, because if you're new to Sorare, this won't make sense. But I will also explain that later, further on in the video. But if, for example, Lisandro Martinez gets a 100 pointer, 100 points, he will then get 116 points. And let's say I bought a player with 0% in collection bonus, or 0% in bonus, I would have only gotten 100 points. And that is a big difference. 16 points, it's a huge difference, and that is why collections are also very, very important. And that's also what experience are, the boost of the scores. And yeah, we just talked about the scoring matrix and how XP and collections work. But now, how do actually people get scores? Because there are two main different parts. Every single player starts with 35 points, and the worst score a player could get is 0 points, and the best score a player could get is 100 points. And for example, there are two different things. One thing is decisive actions. That is key changes to the game. For example, last man tackle, clearance of the line, penalty saved, goal scored, assists, and etc. and penalty created. And that is positive decisives. That is something that will boost the player from 35 points to 60 points. And if they get another decisive action, they will be boosted to 70 points. And another one, 80 points. And another one, 90 points. That is how the decisive action works. And now we could talk about the negative decisives. For example, penalty conceded, own goal, and etc. So that will be negative decisives. Then you will go from 35 points to 15 points, to then 5 points, and then 0 points. Those are negative decisives. And the thing with that is that, for example, let's say a player scores a goal. Let's say Kylian Mbappe scores a goal. He gets 60 points, but he does incredible besides that as well. He just outperforms everyone. So he gets 55 in AA. That is very unlikely, but let's say he get that. Then he will get 100 pointer. That is the best he can get. Although if it was the cap, he would have gotten 115 points. But no, there are a cap of 100 points. 0 to 100 points. So he would have gotten the best score in the game. And AA, which is all around action, that is, for example, tackles, interceptions, big chances created, pass into final third, long passes, and etc. Those are the all-around things that the players get on top of their decisive action. And now we can move on how, where, and when to buy Sorare cards. And I will go very, very fast through it, because when I navigated the website, I also went through how to buy Sorare cards and where to buy Sorare cards. But I can go through it once again. You need to go to the market. You can go to auctions, instant buy, manager sales. For example, if you want to buy from manager sales, you could go through, for example, Alejandro Grimaldo and click on him and, for example, buy now. And auctions, it will be that you are putting in a bid. So for example, if you want Lee Hyun-sik, you could place a bid and then you could add a bid on him if you want to get him into your gallery. Instant buy is something different. You can't, you need to buy him, or for example Rodrigo, for that price. You can't try to get him for a cheaper price. And for manager sales, as I said, you could also trade. For example, Alejandro Grimaldo, you could click on him and then you could trade, try to get him for a lower price, or you could buy him now. And that is also very, very simple. And now we can move into how to deposit money into the game. There are so many Sorare YouTubers making videos on that in specific, but it's pretty simple. Add funds, and then you could add cash, add Ethereum. Then you could use your credit and debit card, and you could choose the amount here if you want to get it in cash. And if you want to get it in Ethereum, you could choose card or bank transfer, or take it from the Ethereum wallet if you have Coinbase and etc. Okay, so the in-season and classic season cards are probably one of the major changes Sorare have actually made when it comes to the competition structure and everything. But one thing that also they have changed is the number of money you will get after buying 5 players from the auction house or instant buy market, and how to utilize that. And this will be a very, very big tip when you sign up. That is to deposit 55 euros. And before I talk anymore, this isn't financial advice at all. You need to do your own research on this one, but this is what I would have been doing if I would have been brand new to Sorare. I would have bought 5 players from the auction market for the lowest possible amount that may get some utility in the future. And you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Yeah, because you will get 50 euros after doing it, that is why. And then you will have 50 euros in credits. And how that works is that you'll have 50 euros in credits, but it's not 50 euros in credits because you need to use the half of the money from your own pocket. So let's say you have deposited 50 euros, you will be eligible to use 50 euros plus 50 euros in credits. So you will then, after spending 100 euros, getting every single player you buy for half of the price. I hope that makes sense, and that is how the credits work initially. So that is also how the sign-up system works. And also, if you don't have used an affiliate link, another very good strategy is to do the same, but not from the auction market. You could also go to manager sales, try to find a team that is very, very cheap, and try to get some of the best players from that team. For example, Norwich. I really like Norwich. I have a guy that I can search by. One of my friends have a Sorare account, and he started recently playing Sorare. He has yielded a lot of money recently. He started with I think a little under 20 euros or $20. His gallery is worth $17, but keep in mind he has won like $10 or something, or $10 or $15 that he has in his account, so he has already gone a lot in profit, and he has also won a card. And he has gone for a lot of Norwich players, which is pretty cheap, and also a goalkeeper that is very, very cheap. He consistently yields money week in and week out, which is also something I really like doing. And then we will go through the biggest scouting tips ever, and that is to use Sorare data. Roman Del Castillo is a player that I have purchased in Limited, and this helps so much because I can see where he will do the best against. For example, when he plays against Lyon and Metz, he has been doing very well, and also against Lorient. But when he plays against tougher fixtures, he tends to do not as great. And that is also where he plays on the pitch. When Pierre Limelu isn't as influential, Del Castillo gets a lot of room up front, and he will be more important to the team. And that is something I really like doing, going more in depth about the players, and I think Sorare data is probably the perfect place to do that. If you want to scout players, you can go to Scout, and then you can go to Player and Card Finder. Here you can search, for example, player has a game week in this game week, for example, game week 469, forward, midfielder, defender, and etc. And you could, for example, filter by club if you, for example, want to scout some Norwich players, or for example, Aberdeen, which is a Scottish club. You can search here, and then you can get a lot of information about different players. If you go there and then go to filter, you could search for players, for example, from Aberdeen. I don't know why it isn't shown now. Oh yeah, it's because I have taken Premier League and Aberdeen. I need to remove Premier League. And then you get all the information on every single Aberdeen player here. This could be another club like Manchester United, your favorite club, and you can see how much they're actually worth. And also we can quote the euros here, so we can see their price in euros. It's very, very simple to use and very, very good to use. That is what I would recommend you doing, using this as a scouting method for your new signings into your Sorare account. Sorare data here, it's just to search up Sorare data, and it will be very, very easy to maneuver around the platform and find your new signings. And here you can also search on every single player on the platform. For example, let's say Scott McTominay, if you're interested in purchasing him, if he's a player that you really like, you can go to auctions and then you can see how many cars there are on him on the market, how much he's worth, and his latest scores. You could go to all time, you could go to last 15, and you can go to everything. And also, something I really want to tell you is how the game week system works, because there are weekends and there are midweeks. I need to just update this really quick. Yeah. For example, here we can see game week 471 and game week 473. In game week 471, that will be a weekend game week. And let's say, I think Manchester United have a midweek fixture against Sheffield United. Let's go to Onana, I think, just because Scott McTominay is injured. Why is Manchester United playing against Sheffield United? Or am I missing something? I thought they were going to play against Manchester United. Or am I wrong with that? Like now, when I'm recording this, I thought Manchester United, but that has nothing to do with this. Okay, but the weekend is going to be a deadline that is going to be from Friday 4 p.m. CET to Tuesday 4 p.m. CET. That is the weekend deadline. That is each week, and that will be normally 469, 471, 473, 475 and 477. Now we use a Sheffield United player as an example. Those are the remaining fixture. But let's say you have a player from Dortmund which have a midweek fixtures. We could go to Jadon Sancho. He has midweek fixtures. And when is those midweek fixtures, you may ask? Game week 472 is the midweek, game week 474 is the midweek. And the midweeks is from Tuesday 4 p.m. CET to Friday 4 p.m. CET. So that is the major differences between the different game weeks. And now I hope you have enjoyed today's video. I will end this with how to be successful on Sorare. But first of all, do you have any questions? Please remember to leave to the comments if I have explained something badly or if I haven't gone through it good enough. Please leave it in the comments and I will answer them as soon as possible. But firstly, how to be successful at Sorare. That is something every single Sorare manager wants to be, and I don't have a concrete answer to that. But if I would say 5 things that you could do to be a better Sorare manager is to be patient. That is probably the most important tip. Be patient. Don't rush into things. If you have a player you want to buy but he's too expensive for you, wait until he goes down in value. If he goes up again, that is fine. Then I buy another player. You need to have principles. That is the second thing. Have principles. Don't be stupid. Don't rush into things just because you think he will be... Like, if you realistically think that he will perform and consistently yield back the money you have spent on a premium because, of course, you have good features in the upcoming games, it may be worth it. I don't know. But, like, you know my point. Be patient with it and have principles when you buy players. Don't rush into things. And number 3 is also to play the leagues you know, buy players you know the most. Because, of course, you could buy from leagues you have no idea about. But then, of course, you need to do a lot of more research. You don't have any personal connection with the players because you haven't watched them. You don't know if they're actually good or are just on an insane period of times, getting very lucky with the goals and the positions they are in. And also, it's to check expected goals and expected assists. And also, if you're buying goalkeepers, expected goals conceded. So you know the probability of them actually getting consistent clean sheets, and that is the same with some teams being very lucky with getting clean sheets consistently, but they actually conceded a lot of chances. The same with goals. It could be players just on an insane run of goals, but they haven't actually scored any good goals or screamers. It could be good goals, but they haven't deserved the goals. That is what I'm trying to say. And they are actually having one shot a game, but they are lucky or very in a very hot form, scoring every single chance they get. That is something I don't like to buy into. I would rather buy a player that misses a lot of big chance missed and therefore his price are lower in price. And also the last tip would probably be the scouting technique. Of course, fixtures have a lot to say in this game, but don't just scout for the short term, scout for the long term. And in many cases it could be good to buy players that have very bad fixtures for the next 2 games, but then have an insane run of form, because in many cases the prices will go up then. That is the full Sorare beginner guide. As I said, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will answer them as soon as possible. But yeah, my name has been Sorare, and I hope you will stick with me and watch more videos, and I will see you. Bye bye and take care. Peace.